in terms of what their gear is as part of this? And what happens when I'm on a plane and I don't have Wi-Fi or I don't feel like paying $10 for Wi-Fi?
So the question is, how do we provide for offline access? So first of all, there are a few things we are thinking about. This device is primarily intended for use with connectivity. Wi-Fi is the use case we have in mind, and we are designing it because it's primarily for you to spend time online. Having said that, I showed experiences by which you can plug in and play media, right? So you can cache media locally, and you can watch videos, read books, listen to music, etc., play games. So that's something you'll be able to do while offline. In addition to that, as part of the HTML5 capabilities, we are exposing offline capabilities with access to local storage. So any application which takes advantage of the HTML5 offline capability and implements on top of it will work while you're not connected. So those are the things that will happen.
Are you specifying wide area wireless networking in this notebook?
Want to take that? So we're focused on 802.11n, which is the next generation 802.11 standard. So that's the mainstream wireless technology that's in use primarily today. So that's our primary focus.
So hold on. Since we're on a webcast, I would really appreciate it if you guys use the mic. Otherwise, people can't hear the question. Thank you.
Could you repeat the question?
Sure, but there are people standing in line too. Thank you. So next question, please.
I'm wondering about virtualization. Can it be run in a virtual machine now? Can people try it out today?
Today, you can build the source code and run it in a virtual machine. And certainly we do that for development. That's a very convenient way to do development. So the focus today of the open source release is to get developers working with the code, being able to compile it, being able to debug it. And a virtual machine is a great way to do that.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Hi, are you working with partners? I know that Adobe, I believe they have a solution, a web-based Photoshop solution. Are you working with other partners and maybe developers? But you said it's probably not a development machine. But let's say at one point as netbooks become more powerful, maybe developers using Eclipse. I don't know if there's a web-based Eclipse version. But are you working with partners on web enabling some of the applications? And the other question is, I think one of the success factors for Android is the marketplace. There are many reasons why it's so successful. And then I was just wondering if Android apps would run on Chrome, but they're not web apps. So maybe what are your comments on that?
So in terms of advancing more web applications to work, so independent of Chrome OS, this is a major part of our focus. Writing Chrome itself, one of the things we tried to do was to really push web applications forward. HTML5, native clients, so there is a lot of work we are doing. So things like Photoshop on the web, we are very excited by it. And the way we approach it is we want to make sure the browser works and has the capabilities for those things to happen. The second part of your question is, will Android apps run on Chrome OS? The answer is, since every application in Chrome OS is a web application, Android apps as written today will not run on Chrome OS. Mike?
Just to follow up on that, actually, I was going to ask a similar question, but Steve Jobs said the same thing when he first launched the iPhone. Like, you can launch any app on this you want as long as it works in the browser, and you're going to get an incredible amount of pressure very quickly, starting right now, to have Android-like apps working on this. Are you saying flat out there will never be, or at least there's no plans right now for any kind of third-party app system for people to get their apps onto their apps onto these machines?
So two things. We are saying currently our current plan is to only support web apps. So third-party apps will work as long as it's a web application. I would call on the form factors like netbooks.
That's exactly what Steve Jobs said when they launched the iPhone.
Let me point out a couple things.
A year, so.
Yeah, but in the iPhone, if you looked at when they launched the development framework, they did have the main applications on the iPhone written as native applications, right? And so in Chrome OS, even the apps we are writing will all be web applications. Just to see, the browser works very well on bigger form factors. And in phones, a lot of times you see these applications being written as native applications because the web has challenges. We are working hard, our mobile team is working very hard to push the paradigm there. But I think it is different on larger form factors. The web works very, very well. Next question.
Hi, yeah, a few moments ago you said that you thought native client would be an important part of the Chrome OS experience. That would seem to imply that you have an Intel processor. My question is whether we can still expect to see Chrome OS running on netbooks based on the ARM architecture, and if so, can we expect equivalent functionality on both platforms?
So, our goal with Chrome OS is to run it as a very open project, and we'll be working with a full variety of partners, including on the chipset side. So, Chrome OS will function both on x86 and ARM, and native client, it works on x86 today, but there is work underway to make it work on ARM as well.
But that would, there would be different code delivered to a device running a different processor in that case. Do you have any thoughts on?
I can take that. We'll make sure that, I don't want to go into all the technical details today, but we'll make sure that there's a way that you can run native client-based applications that run equivalently on x86 and ARM.
Thanks.
And there's a lot of work going on that today. You'll see more about it soon.
Sorry.
Yeah, two questions. The first is, when you first announced Chrome OS, you talked about it running on much more powerful machines beyond just netbooks. What kind of a time frame do you think that will happen on? And second, is there a direct business model for Chrome OS, or is this just the latest incarnation of getting people to be more active on the web? For example, will you be offering some vehicle for advertising directly in the browser?
So your first question is, so all we are focused right now, is for 2010 getting devices. It's very hard to build an operating system and ship in a year, which is what we are trying to do. And so that's what we are focused on. In terms of what is the business model around Chrome, we are working with partners. All I can say right now is Chrome OS is fully free. It's free and open source. And we are fortunate that as the web gets better and people use the web more, it benefits us as a company. So that's essentially the crux of how we think about it.
So will there be any specific new real estate devoted to advertisements, or will it be just the existing ones we see in Gmail and Google search results?
There are no plans. Every application in Chrome is a web application. It's the same application you will get on any other browser, in any other computer. Thanks.
Hi, Carsten, German news magazine Stern. Your demo made me wonder, in terms of browser functionality, what is it that Chrome does that a regular alternate browser logged into all these cloud services cannot do? Because when you speak of floating palettes, whatever, to me it looked like just another pop-up window and things I could maybe do with Firefox or any other browser.
Sorry, your question again, I fully didn't understand it.
Oh, sorry. So the browser functionality of Chrome, what you demoed, is that anything I cannot do with the current browser that is logged into all of these web services, cloud services?
Your question, look, Chrome, we take a standards-based approach to Chrome. So most of what we show here is available in other browsers. Having said that, there are a lot of new user concepts which we are exposing today, which are not available in other browsers today.
For example?
Application tabs, panels. These are things which we have done which are not available, the OOV mode. But more importantly, our goal isn't to say what we are trying to offer is a fundamentally different model of computing. A model in which, from a user standpoint, you aren't installing, managing software, you aren't managing data. It's very fast, very simple, and very secure. So I think as a model of computing, what we are attempting to do is very, very different.
And does that affect me also on non-Google Chrome netbooks on a regular machine where I would just install Chrome? Do I also reap the benefits of your approach?
Not everything. For example, in Chrome OS, Chrome is tuned to run on the underlying operating system and hardware, right? So those benefits won't carry over. But some of the user experience benefits we provide in Chrome OS within Chrome will carry over to Chrome on other platforms. So it's on a case-by-case basis.
And I can give a couple examples there. So things that we can't do on a conventional operating system that we can in Chrome OS are things like the verified boot that I mentioned, so the malware prevention, the fast boot stuff. We can't make your existing operating system boot faster. And then the file system stuff. So I mentioned we did a lot of really interesting security things with the file system that are underway. Can't do that to a conventional operating system either.
Okay. Great.
Hi, Glenn Chapman, AFP. Thanks for taking the time to brief us today. The broader concern that people expressed over and again about the cloud is, how are you going to get people past, why should they trust the reliability? The internet's going to crash, Gmail goes down, all of a sudden I'm done for 2 hours. And then what are you going to do to assure people about the security of their data, that once they give Google servers all their personal information, that it can be trusted there?
So answer your first. Yes. first question is, our point here is pretty simple. If your cloud